Now, I ain't gonna lie. When I first seen that Karen had left, I was really thinking it was gonna be about Zach. But now I don't think it's about Zach anymore. I think it's really the postpartum depression, and she really feeling some kind of way. And the girl needs to get on some medicine ASAP. But let's get into this show review. Hey, Chatterboxes. Hey, I'm Nele, and welcome to Easy Convos, where we kiki about all the things. So talk to me. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, and click that notification bell so you will be notified when I upload. If you are new here, I do reviews, reactions, and breakdowns of all my favorite TV shows and topics across the internet. So today's Kiki is Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 9, Episode 12, Search Party. And your girl got notes, okay? I'm sorry it took me so long to get this up, but let me tell you, YouTube been giving your girl a hard time. They rolled out some new changes, and your girl had to evolve with the changes and left her feeling a little down, honey. But that's okay. I'm gonna climb back up on my horse, and we gonna make all the necessary changes, and we gonna just roll with them, okay? So if things look a little different, I have to abide by the YouTube street rules, okay? So let's get into this show review. So we are back, and this episode was, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, when it first started out, it was boring and I kept falling asleep. I had to restart this like 3 times. Finally, the 3rd time around, I stayed awake and it got good. It like you had to get off into it, okay? It was like one of them Lifetime movies, you have to get off into it. But we started off with Danny and Sabrina still at the bar, and they were talking to Aaron on the phone and everything, and Danny was saying how basically Karen, the girl, is just depressed. And she right. Karen really is depressed. I mean, and Danny right, she done had a rough few years. But listen, and I'm not trying to be mean in no way, shape, or form. Some of this was Karen's own doing, okay? Not trying to be mean again. She left Zach, and he met Fatima, and she helped Zach come up, and he just didn't want to get back with Karen. If Karen wanted Zach, she had plenty of time to take him back. She should have stayed with him. So that has been hard on her and really, really rough on her. Then she got pregnant by Zach through unprotected sex. Then slept with Aaron through unprotected sex. In the same time frame, that was on Karen. She made that hard for herself because she should have been more careful. I mean, that really was the only part that was her fault. The incident with her going into labor early and losing forever, I don't blame that on her. Something else she went through was her salon catching on fire. I don't blame that on her. Then she was stole from. She blamed that on Zach. That wasn't Zach. I think Pam had used her store credit card or something like that, and she was accusing Zach. All the hardships she been through, she just been through some things, but the biggest thing that she going through right now is grief, and this postpartum depression is really weighing in heavy on Karen. But despite all that's going on with Karen, Danny did not forget to let Sabrina know that she gonna come back and roll back around to her sleeping with her cousin Rock, the doc, the fake doctor. So when Danny and Sabrina do finally arrive at Karen's, they start drilling Pam on if she talked to Karen. Now, let me tell you something. Listen, they supposed to be Karen's closest friends. They supposed to be closer to her than anyone. Why the hell hadn't they talked to Karen? Why haven't they checked in on her, and why they don't know how she doing? Danny and Sabrina both want to look at the note and analyze it and try to make sense of it. Honey, okay, none of us make sense of it. Sabrina don't have a good feeling, but Danny is not gonna think the worst. Pam don't think Karen will hurt herself or Faith, and I feel I don't know what Karen might do, but I don't want to say that she would hurt the baby, because if she taking losing forever that hard, why would you hurt another baby if you so broke up about that baby being hurt? But at the same time, her mental is so off, you don't know what she might do. Because I know people that go through really bad postpartum depressions and hurt themselves and the baby. I done heard stories about it. I don't know the people personally. I've just heard the stories. But I just don't think, I don't want to think she gonna hurt Faith. I think she wanted to get away. The question for me is, will she want Zach back as a reason to come home? Now, I felt like that at the very beginning of this, but then, my feelings sort of kind of started changing, because now I don't think she wants Zach back. And when I first started watching this, I was like, girl, she just wants Zach to come back and get her. That she just wants Zach back. But now I don't feel like that anymore. By the end of the episode, I really didn't feel that anymore. Now, while Sabrina drilling Pam on where is Karen, like Pam finna just pull Karen out her ass, Pam asked Sabrina, where is Andi? Because they been calling her, they been blowing her phone up, and ain't nobody heard tales of high water from Andi. So that's a very good question. And they try to call Andi again. Yet again, her phone go to voicemail. So Danny overcalling Andi at this point, and she finna pull up on her. Let's talk about Aaron and Miss Lisa. Aaron has, of course, already he called Sabrina and Danny. Of course, they have went over. And he let them know that she had left with baby Faith. He has talked to Pam. She not at the salon. They've looked everywhere. And Karen is dealing with postpartum depression and plus losing forever. They don't want to think she will harm herself or Faith. Don't nobody know like Aaron the way Karen has been really acting. I personally don't think she's going to harm herself or Faith, but I don't know how bad her postpartum depression is. So one really don't know what Karen might do. I think she's just dealing with a lot, and she feeling like the walls are closing in on her, and she's just looking for a way out right now. And I feel like her way out was leaving. This is why I said before in my other show review, Karen need medication, honey. Not being told to leave and maybe try a different scenery. And I feel like when Dr. Vaughn told her that, he didn't comprehend the severity of the depression. I mean, I'm sure it's probably it's gonna dawn on him when he find out that she missing, but he didn't when he agreed to her talking about, what if I just want to walk away? Child, while Aaron and Miss Lisa looking for Karen, Pam don't order her some wings, and she up there eating. Talking about Karen probably in the hood eating crab legs with some garlic butter with baby face. And Aaron rolled his eyes at Pam. He looked so annoying at her. And Miss Lisa's like, honey, I know my child, and she is not up in the hood eating no crab legs. But Aaron has been ready to call the cops. Aaron really should have followed his first mind when he first suggested it, instead of waiting and called the cops, because they may could have caught her. They done let a lot of time pass by to let her get further away to wherever she going. Miss Lisa finally agreed to call the cops if Karen is not at Andy's house, honey. With Danny her up and pull up on her, we'll know she over there. Anyway, Aaron has a right to be worried, not trust Karen. And though Miss Lisa don't be wanting Aaron to say it and say nothing, Karen doesn't know anything about baby Faith. He doesn't know if Karen even done breastfed the baby before. Plus, the way Karen has been acting lately, Aaron should be every bit of concerned. But Miss Lisa don't want to hear him say it, and that's Karen probably now. Her mama done petted and coddled her too much, and now she done took the baby and ran off. But again, Miss Lisa don't want to hear the truth about Karen. That she done let this whole situation with Karen go on for a whole month. And Aaron been telling everybody, I'm worried about Karen. I think we should get her some help. Aaron should have took it upon himself and just called a doctor himself instead of, even though he did stress it to other people, he should have just took the initiative himself and called a doctor himself and told the doctor directly, because her sorry ass friends didn't, and they knew, because he been done told them. But it's been a month because Faith done went for her whole checkup and everything, right? Because Miss Lisa cared her for that checkup, and the Dr. Vaughn was like, Miss Motts, you didn't go, and she should have. So this whole her being how she is done went on a whole month, and Karen ain't had nothing to do with this baby, ain't done nothing with this baby, ain't changed this baby, ain't held the rock the baby, don't know what to do for the baby. She don't know what formula the baby even probably take. And then she gonna up and took the baby and didn't take none of the key stuff with her. Aaron should be upset that I've been done called the police, okay? But they finally find out that Karen is not at Andy's, and Andi hadn't heard from Karen. And so now Miss Lisa is calling the police and giving them a breakdown and description of Karen and baby Faith. And Aaron is like, we can provide pictures and whatever you need. Then Zach showed up at Karen's to help. Even Aaron tells him he smells like a whole liquor bar. And Aaron said, did they check? Aaron did say what I said in my last video. And my question was, did they check the cemetery? And Aaron said, yes, they checked the cemetery. And Zach's like, why would you go to the cemetery? Then it clicked and dawned on him, oh yeah, Forever's grave. I think that was a hard hit for Zach. But it dawned on him. So that video, I think YouTube left that video up. Some of my videos have been removed, but I think that video is still up. The one where I asked, did they go to the cemetery or whatever. So now Zach is reading the note. Everybody got to analyze this note like the note gonna speak to him and tell them what Karen is. Baby, this note ain't about to tell them nothing. And it sounds weird to him, but he knows Karen more than everybody in his personal opinion. And he said Karen just built different, that Karen's basically like she's strong and she gonna be all right. He don't think that she would harm Faith. And Aaron gonna ask Zach, does Karen leaving have anything to do with him? Which was what I told y'all, the same thing I was thinking at the beginning, but now I don't feel that way anymore. Zach assured Aaron that no, him and Karen done closed that chapter and they been done, okay? And we watched them how they flashback and memory some episodes ago and basically closed that chapter off. Now, I personally wonder, and I did wonder this, if Karen was going to try to convince Fatima to leave and walk out on Zach, leaving him vulnerable so she could have another shot at him. Now, that did cross my mind. It did. But now, I don't think so. But now, if that happened, y'all run this back because I told y'all so, okay? But Zach doesn't think the worst of the situation. Aaron is the one who has been around Karen the most and seen what she's been like, so naturally he gonna be more concerned than everybody out of the bunch, as he should be, because he was there when she was over there trying to cook, and everybody know Karen can't cook barely boil water or egg, so he had every right to be worried. Baby, Maurice is at home cleaning up for this man, and he is so nervous to the point that it's really cute. He over there feeling like a whole maid getting ready for this white man to come over. He said, did y'all notice how Maurice keeps rubbing down Dylan's chest every time he get a little chance? He keep on Dylan's chest, that child. He too much. Maurice done cooked candy yams, collard greens, fried chicken, made a peach cobbler, a few slices of ham, and he just get it, honey. He so nervous about this whole man. And then Dylan gonna raise his shirt up and say he ready for that food, and Maurice like, this white man got a whole 12 pack. Maurice act like he don't know what to do with it. I'm telling you, Maurice is killing me. I've never seen Maurice in this rare form before, honey. We better enjoy it. Dylan had to tell Maurice, like, chill. They can just hang out. Because Maurice was just blubbering and blabbing along because he was just so nervous. But Dylan has dated women but came out to his parents like a year ago. So it's like, to me, I feel like he was proud of Maurice. Maurice said, honey, he been gay since he was in the embryo. He been known who he was. He ain't got no problem with his identity, and he cool with it. And I feel like Dylan is attracted to that, and he likes how confident that Maurice is, and he really likes that. But he enjoyed Maurice's cooking. Dylan keeps talking about stuff when they having their conversation about marriage and if Maurice has any dating goals. Maurice starts naming off his relationship goals, because basically he want to be a kept wife, honey, where they have maid service, his husband has a trust fund. Dylan said he knows someone for Maurice, and honey, he grabbed hold to Maurice's face and started kissing him. I was like, child, finally laying this kiss already. They finally kissed, and I was tickled. I was like, ooh, Maurice, get it, boy. I was like, okay, Maurice got a man at home, because I think Dylan gonna be really trying to he like him some Maurice for real. Andi wants to know what in the world Gary wants, and like, what is he doing at her house? She call it, I call it an imprisonment, a trap. I hate that penthouse. She wants him to keep his distance, to the point, honey, she running around her table and her dining table, don't even want him nowhere near her. And she should, because he ain't been nothing but a danger to her since she met him, to be honest. They had a few good times, but honey, it's like they had more worse times than they had good times. I mean, the last time she almost got herself unalived by he said, wife, while being held hostage by Jasmine and Hudson. So she should be afraid and have all her guards up. She is right to call the police like she threatened to do. I would have called, and she talking about, I'm gonna call the police if you come any closer. Honey, I'd have called the police because he showed up. I don't know why she wondering how he got in. It's real easy. It's not like she got a nice locked door. Anyone can get past that doorman onto her elevator. Like, if he blinks, somebody don't walk past him and up that elevator. That's why I can't stand that. That elevator would have to have a lock that I go over there and unlock it. It's got to have a one of them intercom systems with the camera, so I can see who coming up on the elevator before I release the elevator to even come up. If that's the kind of door you gonna have, it's got to have more safeguards and security than what she got going on, because the doorman ain't it. Anyway, the doorman said he let him up because Andi was expecting him, honey. Andi thought it was her dinner being delivered, not Gary coming to torture her some more. But Gary talking about he want to just be straight up and talk to Andi. Like, he just want to have a calm, nice, straight up conversation. He won't threaten her, blackmail her. It won't be no drama. He there. He come in peace, honey. Straight peace. That's it. That's all. Andi feel like we feel, you know what I'm saying? And that's talking ain't gonna do shat but fall on some deaf ears. That's how she feel. That's how we feel. I mean, I'm proud of Andi for standing her ground when it come to Gary. She gives Gary 5 minutes, but he can't sit down and get comfortable at all. They gonna have this conversation standing up right here on either side of this kitchen table with some distance between them. Gary wants Andi to know how sorry he is. As per usual, he regrets trying to control Andi. He admitted to being a narcissistic, jealous butthole who master manipulated her. Gary hate how he put her life in danger more times than one. Well, guess what? Andi is not in the forgiving and forget frame of mind. And she over it. And it's good to see her finally standing up for herself. Gary just wants to apologize, thinking she would understand with open arms. Not for a change. Gary feels like they had a beautiful life together at one point. He was like, don't you think so, didn't we, honey? Andi just stared at him. She didn't agree nor disagree, but she was just looking at him. Gary is tearing up even at one point, trying to express his, regret and how sorry he is and all his apologies. Andi is glad he acknowledged the things that he has done, but it still don't mean spit to her, because the pain was still felt. The people were still harmed. Now, not only does he want to right his wrongs with Andi, but he want to right his wrong with her friends as well. Honey, he got some real high hopes, because do he know her friends? I mean, okay, let's be honest. The only one he may have luck with is Sabrina. She about like Andi doorman. She'll let anybody in, okay? So he may be able to get in with her and she forgive him. But anyway, Gary knows Andi witnessed Jasmine. He said his wife. I'm like, they still married, because he been saying that they was divorced. That was his ex, not ex-wife. But he said his wife, the mother of his children, got shot and unalived by her boyfriend Hudson right there in front of Andi. So like, really, is she okay? Because Gary said he been in therapy, so I'm assuming that's what's helping his memory and him taking accountability for his actions, is because he done spent all this time in therapy. Andi wanted to know how Gary turned into a thug out gangster, being involved with the cartel, laundering money, just being a hard criminal, just turned into a supervillain. The only excuse Gary can give is he was tired of being nice, because it's never got him where or what he ever wanted. But old Gary is gone. He's done being a supervillain. He's cheated death twice at this point, and he don't feel like he want to try it again. Andi said it's time for them to move on. And I agree. And Gary somewhat agreed, which is why he is there trying to offer his apologies and take accountability for the things he did, and hoping that she'll forgive him, because he taking his kids and going to Ghana in 2 days and starting fresh and anew. And I'm feeling like, well, what did you want Andi to do? Say, oh, I'm coming too, child. Gary said he wants to get his life in order, and this is his farewell visit to Andi. Okay, now, in a sense, this was a little sad, because anytime you lose a main character on this show, it means a black person without a job. So that's why I said it's a little bit sad. But his character in this show has reached a point to where we need a break. We need a break from the villain. The supervillain. We need a break. I like that they are leaving it open, so at some point he can return now and improve when we least expect it. He can pop back up, because that's going to bring some excitement to the show. Now, right when he is at the peak of apologizing, Danny shows up to Andi's. And where in the hell was Sabrina? Because she and Sabrina were supposed to be together. And I thought Sabrina was driving. Child, did she leave her in the car? What happened? They are, because they were supposed to be together. But Danny is ready to crash out on Gary, because she like, I know you fucking lying, because I know he ain't here. And he told Danny to chill. They just talking. Gary makes his exit after apologizing to Danny for all the chaos he caused, after Danny done threatening to bust him upside the head with the pink vase, with the pink flowers in it. But I can't believe Gary is leaving the show for a little brief period. I feel like it's gonna be a brief period, but he leaving the show for a little bit. I was in my feelings a little bit when he got on the elevator and left, and it felt weird with him leaving and Andi not giving him a hug and a kiss bye and all that kind of stuff. It did feel some kind of way. But anyway, Danny starts going in on Andi, and that's after she had said that Andi couldn't possibly be that dumb to be up there talking to Gary. So she started taking shots immediately. So I don't think Andi wants to hear too much more out of Danny's mouth and hear what Danny got to say. Also, Fatima has toughened Andi up a lot, y'all remember, as well as some of the things that Andi has just been through with the men in her life has toughened Andi up a lot. So, and Andi tries to tell Danny basically Gary wanted closure, and she wanted closure too. Danny wanted to know if Andi was the one that needed the closure. Andi feels she and Gary both needed the closure. I feel like I'm as a person needed closure from the situation. Danny dropped the bomb that Karen is missing in like a Lifetime movie. Missing like she missing. We gotta go find Karen, okay? Andi wants to know why no one told her. Bitch, what you mean why nobody told you? You ain't answer nobody's phone. They been calling you for hours and hours. Andi was busy getting the closure that she and Ashley asked Gary both needed and not answering her phone. What Danny said. Andi over Danny being petty. She is grown and she can listen to Gary apologize if she want to. That's nobody's business but her own. And she don't need Danny's input or opinion about it. Danny gets real gutter and goes below the belt and goes in on Andi some more by saying she guess it's nobody's business. Andi fucked Dr. Vaughn. Who said that? Danny was told Andi was seen with Dr. Vaughn in a public place at a restaurant having dinner. How we get that Andi fucked him? Now, I don't like when people be messing like that. Now, Danny, you doing the most. Around here, that'll get your chin checked real quick. Be TKO'd around here. Don't come in here making assumptions and assuming stuff out your mouth, because your mouth will be swollen up real fast. Andi was surprised about why Danny would say that. Danny felt because Andi said she had a meeting and went on a date with Dr. Vaughn. Andi tells Danny here is where she is wrong. She hasn't fucked Dr. Vaughn, and it was a meeting date sort of thing, which is true on Andi's part because she only agreed to go out with him so she could present him with those papers, with those documents. Y'all remember on helping Karen case. Remember? Because he was like, you got him all comfy and settled in and got him lit just so she could ask him, to help with that case. Regardless, Andi don't feel like she has to tell them everything she has going on in her life, and to be honest, she don't. Even though that's her sister circle and they the friends or whatnot and what have you, she don't have to tell them every single little tidbit. Danny don't be telling every single little tidbit, and Sabrina didn't tell every little tidbit about her being a hoe. Nobody but Maurice. Andi made her point to Danny, who feels like Andi has been lying a lot lately and she don't like liars. Andi don't feel like she lies. Danny said they can run all the lies back, considering some of them have endangered all the sister circle lives, down to being interrogated by the police down at the police department. Andi gets back to the issue at hand, and that is Karen missing. Danny informs Andi Karen doesn't have her phone. Karen has the baby. Andi still thinks Karen just went for a ride. Andi naming off things that Karen could be doing, and then every time she names something, Danny being real petty as not, as going on and telling her she don't have her phone. Her car is at the apartment. You should have done told her all of that when you come in. No phone, no keys, no purse, none of Faith's things. You should have already done rolled all that off instead of sitting up there letting Andi try to name off what she could be possibly doing, this and that. A person is missing and Danny is playing off her time. I don't got time. not who being selfish. She always try to say Andi being selfish, but the fact that your supposedly best friend is missing and this how you acting, you just as selfish as Andi. Cause come on now, this ain't a time to be trying to be childish and take jabs, cause you really coming off as jealous. Do y'all think Danny is jealous or Andi? Leave it in the comments below, cause it's low key giving jealous. Andi knows an officer personally, and now Danny is mad about that. And she, like you would know an officer, she needs to be more mad about Tony destroying her apartment and smelling like corn chips up in there, and her lying ass cousin trying to sleep with her best friend calling himself a doctor, before she be worrying about trying to police Andi coochie or trying to worry about who Andi know, because Andi work in the business that she in. She gonna know people. So Danny, you mad about it because she know different men to do this and that in this career. That, get over it. She thinks Andi is narcissistic, honey, because for asking her if she's jealous that she knows people and they happen to be men. And Danny is like, I don't care that you know all these men. Well, that ain't how you acting. And then Danny gonna bust out and say she calling me and call Dr. Vaughn and see if he knows something. Now, I don't know why she would think Dr. Vaughn would know where Karen is, but okay. Now, I guess it is a good idea, but why would he know where Karen is? I guess I don't know why he would know where Karen may have went, but maybe he can't discuss. It's patient confidentiality. He wouldn't be able to discuss nothing with them. Anyway, Danny decides to leave, and she and Andi had this whole pushing contest in the elevator on the way out, honey. Andi arrives at Karen's. Danny is still taking smart mouth shots at her because she parked down the block. Andi grown. She can park where she want to park. Danny claimed it's so she can sneak off. First of all, child, if she was trying to leave, she would have parked as close as possible for a quick exit, not down the block so y'all got time to catch her and see where she going while she clickety-clacking around in them hills. Y'all done seen her, had time to catch her. She parked down the block, honey. That ain't no time to get away. A quick getaway is be parking as close as you can so you can ease out the door and boom, be gone. If she's so worried about Karen, then she wouldn't be so invested in Andi's coochie and where she going in her getting away, honey. She would be more invested in where Karen is and get her back if she really Karen friend and worried about Karen and not Andi. But I ain't the one to gossip. Dr. Vaughn calls Andi, and Sabrina and Danny want her to put it on speakerphone, and Andi looking real stupid. They so ignorant. Cause she don't want to put it on speakerphone. She want to talk privately. But anyway, Andi goes and puts it on speakerphone after looking like a deer caught in headlights. And he told her the same thing. He can't discuss Karen's visit with her, just that she's grieving, but they should know her better than him. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Y'all supposed to be her friends. Y'all should know her better than anybody. What kind of friends are y'all? And I've been saying this a few show reviews ago. They supposed to be such good friends, but they don't act or move like good friends. How Chaz at Zach's house being real rude, talking about he didn't come there for Zach, he came there for Fatima. The amount of instigating and disrespect I tell you to show up at another man's house in his driveway, want to talk to his woman. If that ain't instigating, Fatima gonna hurt herself trying to keep Zach and Chaz apart from fighting. Chaz felt the need to go to Fatima's because he was uncomfortable with their last call, talking about Fatima seemed to be unsettled. Yeah, she was some kind of way because she has a man and Chaz keeps sending her expensive gifts, and not only is he giving her expensive gifts, but he had the most expensive ones sent to her house. Then Zach took the whole meeting just so he could fight Chaz and put him in check. All this got Fatima stressed out. She trying to keep them separated and keep them from fighting. And I'm just waiting for the episode when she's stressed with her pregnancy and something wrong, honey. And then I feel like over on Fatima, when she was stressed, I'm like, this why she's stressed from the over here with y'all going on and keeping up and keeping on. Anyway, Chaz keep taking cheap shots at Zach, calling here, talking about he a little dude, his little house. They both name calling each other clowns and, you know, cornballs and what have you. And Chaz really is, he keep instigating because he got his little piece of bodyguard over there that look like I can go kick him in his nuts and he'll fall down. But since Chaz is Fatima's client, she wants to handle it personally and wants Zach to just give her the opportunity to handle it. And Zach bow over it. So Chaz's little security guard keep flashing his little firearm for what? Because they got heat. Zach got heat. Fatima got heat. Who you scaring? Nobody. Because Zach about that life. Zach is from the hood, honey. He not scared. So flashing your little heat ain't gonna get you nowhere. Flash your heat around here in Mississippi. See what happened to you. Child. Chaz's main reason for coming to Zach and Fatima's was to pick up the K. Richards purse. So he said that's all Zach needed to hear. Zach went in the house and got that little ugly bag and brought it back out and slammed it into Chaz's chest. Fatima told Chaz their relationship is strictly business, strictly professional. He should have called instead of showing up like he did, regardless of the purse and how he low-key is liking her, because she said she need him to high-key not like her. One thing Chaz was right about was Zach being insecure. There was a way to handle the situation more maturely and in a way where even if he was bothered, he would have looked unbothered, because he looked real bothered. Like, he looked very insecure. But Zach tried to figure out how Chaz knew where they lived at. He feel like it's more to the situation, more to their relationship. And Fatima's like, stop playing, because it ain't more. It's not. He can find out things because he rich and he's a celebrity and he got contacts and stuff. And it's true. And he do. And Zach drills Fatima some more about Chaz and whether he's whether he has been being disrespectful to her and all that kind of stuff. And he has been flirting with her a little bit too much. But I'm hung up on the fact that Zach is being disrespectful to Fatima, talking about that's his house. Okay, first it's his house, then he gonna tell her that, okay, go in our house. Boy, bye. Like, he was doing a little bit too much. Anyway, they go in the house and Zach been kicked to the sofa and he was fussing about it, but he wasn't happy. I hope he goes shower and brush his teeth to get that funk off of him, because Fatima done told him several times that he stank. And Zach like, no, he don't smell. And Fatima keep telling him that he smell and his breath smell, he smell, and Zach won't listen. Anyway, Zach finally gets the call that Karen is missing. And he's still gonna take another drink before he leaves, talking about he going over to Karen's to help Miss Lisa and Aaron find her. Zach leaves the house and don't even tell Fatima that he gone. Disrespectful. Again, being disrespectful. Fatima is in the bed trying to get to sleep, but Zach had her too mad. But then she gets a phone call and it's Karen. Now let's look at these previews for this week's episode, because baby, Karen talks to Fatima. So let's get into these previews. Leave what you thought about this episode in the comments below, because y'all know I like to talk about all the things, honey, on these TV shows. So let's get into these previews. So if Karen doesn't return in a few hours, they will be able to issue an Amber Alert for baby Faith. Karen called Fatima and she's the only person Karen wants to talk to. And I feel like it's going to be a situation of one mother to another. And she said it's none of Zach's business. This is going to be strictly between them. She told Fatima she doesn't even recognize the person looking back at her when she look in the mirror, and she feel like the walls are closing in on her. Karen is really going through it. Honey, Fatima tries to run and go tell Zach that something's going on with Karen, but of course he left without even telling her. Zach feels like Fatima is all about communicating, yet she making moves and moving like he ain't about shit. Danny tells Zach Fatima is a real good one. Like he better not be trying to mess it up when he goes over to her house to vent. But he feel like Danny's supposed to be his friend and she should be picking his side while she picking Fatima's side. Tony is still on this whole moving in thing with Danny, but he was feeling some kind of way in his feelings because when he told Danny about it, Danny didn't respond, honey. Danny was like, you would have thought her walking out on the conversation would have been enough said, but I guess he didn't get it. Y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my next show review. Honey, I just got through watching 3 seasons of Reasonable Doubt and I'm caught up and I'm about to bring them show reviews. I'm still going to review the rest of the Fatima, Beauty in Black, and I'm getting ready to start Love is Blind. So y'all hit that subscribe button, honey. Share your girl out. And again, I know this show review is different from how I normally do it, but hey, I have to abide by YouTube's rules, honey. Love you guys. Bye.